What happens when a narcissist collapses? The dark truth they can't escape. Have you ever wondered what happens to a narcissist when the mask finally cracks? When all the people they used to charm, control, or manipulate are gone? When there's no more audience to feed their fragile ego? Psychologists call this moment narcissistic collapse, and it's more real, more destructive, and more quietly tragic than many people realize. First, what exactly is narcissistic collapse? To understand it, you need to understand how narcissistic personalities are built in the first place. A narcissist survives psychologically by creating a false self, an inflated perfect image they present to the world. Underneath, though, there's usually deep insecurity, unhealed trauma, and a profound sense of emptiness. Unlike ordinary people who learn to self-soothe, self-reflect, and accept flaws, a narcissist deflects everything uncomfortable outward. Criticism? It's always someone else's fault. Failure? Denied or blamed on others. Their identity is propped up by other people's admiration and fear. This is called narcissistic supply, the constant feed of attention, praise, or even conflict that makes them feel alive and special. But supply runs out. As life goes on, the people around a narcissist wise up. Family grows distant. Friends drift away. Romantic partners escape the cycle of charm and abuse. Even children often go no contact once they see the pattern for what it is. And so, later in life, sometimes in middle age, sometimes in old age, the narcissist is left alone. No one left to manipulate. No fresh supply to inflate their sense of self. This is when the collapse happens. Psychologists like Dr. Ramani Durvasula describe it as a psychological implosion. Without external validation, the narcissist must face what they've always denied: the empty, fragile self beneath the mask. What does narcissistic collapse look like? It can manifest in many ways. Some narcissists sink into severe depression. Others lash out, become paranoid, or self-destruct with substance abuse. Some simply withdraw entirely. They isolate, cut ties, and wallow in their private misery because they cannot bear being seen in a weakened state. Clinically, this isn't just poetic karma, it's a breakdown of ego defenses. The mind can no longer suppress buried shame, guilt, or fear. Years or decades of deflected pain come rushing back at once. A 2019 study in the Journal of Personality Disorders found that narcissistic patients who lost a job, marriage, or social standing were far more likely to spiral into severe anxiety and depressive episodes than people without narcissistic traits. But why is this collapse so intense for them? Because a narcissist has no inner foundation to lean on. Most people, when rejected or criticized, can reach inside for self-compassion or perspective. A narcissist has spent their whole life avoiding that internal reality. When forced to sit alone with themselves, they find what they fear most: emptiness, confusion, and often a deep sense of self-loathing. Their entire identity was built on external props, and now the stage is empty. Does every narcissist collapse eventually? Not always. Some manage to maintain a steady trickle of supply: co-workers to belittle, partners too afraid to leave, or online strangers to provoke. But for many, especially those who burn every bridge, collapse is almost inevitable. Age brings less power, less beauty, less status. And for the narcissist, these are not superficial losses, they are existential ones. So what does this mean for people hurt by narcissists? If you've ever been abused, manipulated, or betrayed by a narcissist, you know the rage that can bubble up, the fantasy of revenge, the wish to see them suffer like they made you suffer. But here's the paradox: you don't need to chase revenge. Time and reality handle it for you. When you walk away, when you stop feeding their supply, you accelerate what they fear most: abandonment, exposure, and insignificance. They may look confident now, but behind the scenes, many narcissists live in constant dread of this very fate. So what can we learn from this? First, it's not your job to fix or destroy a narcissist. Your job is to protect yourself, your peace, your boundaries, your reality. Second, remember that narcissistic collapse is not redemption. It doesn't guarantee growth or apology. It's just the natural consequence of a lifetime spent refusing to look inward. And third, this collapse is a lesson for all of us. Because while true narcissistic personality disorder is rare, we all have a little narcissism. The desire to be admired, the fear of being unimportant, the temptation to blame others for our pain. Unlike a true narcissist, we have the capacity to pause, reflect, and own our flaws, to find self-worth without needing to control or impress others. If we fail to do that, we risk living on the same brittle stage, terrified that one day, when the applause stops, we'll have nothing left but our own hidden emptiness. In the end, the collapse of a narcissist is sad, not satisfying. It's the ghost of a life that could have been deeper, kinder, and more connected, but never was. Let it remind you, build your inner world, not just your outer one. Love deeply, accept imperfection, and never build your identity on other people's reactions alone.